Now, a judge just sentenced Shawn Grayson to 20 years behind bars. The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy was convicted of killing Sonya Massey after she called 911 for help. Mayor Kawash is live in Springfield. You were in court, Mayor. Massey's children gave impact statements.
Yeah, very emotional morning here in court, in a packed courthouse with protesters outside, many family members here inside. But the Massey family erupted in tears and some joy as Judge Ryan Cadigan handed down a 20-year sentence to Shawn Grayson. That's the maximum allowed under this second-degree murder conviction that he faced. We saw multiple rows of family members related to Sonya Massey, very emotional in court, and there was a handful of family members there for Deputy Shawn Grayson. Now, Grayson made the decision in court to address the family and the courtroom himself, expressing a lot of emotion and remorse that we hadn't seen up until this point. He apologized for the entire incident, admitting that he made several mistakes on the night that he shot and killed Sonya Massey in her home in July of 2024, saying he wishes that he could bring her back, while also asking the family for forgiveness in the long run. Now, we heard 4 victim impact statements, 2 of those from Sonya's children and then both of her parents as well. Grayson looking straight at each family members as they addressed the court, at that time showing no emotion. Both of her children speaking about the permanent harm this has done to their family, their own mental health, and how they survive each day. At one point, Sonya's mother, Donna, ended her statement looking directly at Grayson, saying, quote, "Shawn Grayson, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Those are the exact words Sonya allegedly said to Grayson before he shot her 3 times in her home on July 6th of 24. During the trial, Grayson had told investigators he thought her, quote, rebuke meant she intended to kill him. Now, 572 days since that shooting, Grayson officially sentenced to 20 years in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. We just heard some initial reaction from the family and attorney.
So he said that he thought that rebuke you means that she wanted to kill him. I guess that's why he said, you better not. Let's keep going.
I am just overwhelmed with joy. We prayed that this would happen, that he would get the maximum sentence. But we look forward to him being prosecuted federally for violation of Sonya's civil rights. I don't care about who's running this country right now, but I'm gonna let you know that as her dad, I want him prosecuted federally too, so that when his sentence is up here in the state of Illinois, he can begin his federal sentence in the federal penitentiary.
Now, we have also seen protesters continue to gather outside the Sangamon County Courthouse both before and after the sentencing, chanting 20 years is simply not enough. The judge today also denying a motion from the defense requesting a new trial. The defense says they do plan to appeal this sentencing here in a few weeks. So Grayson now set for 20 years in prison. That'll be followed by 2 years of supervised release. We are expecting to hear more comments from the Massey family here shortly after this sentencing to learn more about their reaction. We did hear from Grayson's family. They said they have no comment at this time. Live from Sangamon.
Is 20 years enough? That is the question. Is 20 years enough? But let's go over into this next video and see if it gives us any more details.
Shawn Grayson, the former Illinois deputy convicted of killing Sonya Massey in 2024, has been handed down the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder last October for the killing of the unarmed mother of 2. Body camera video from the night of the shooting captured the moment Grayson responded to a 911 call from Massey about a possible prowler outside her home. He claimed she was acting erratically and threatened him with a pot of boiling water before he fatally shot her. The footage showed Massey apologizing and ducking for cover before those shots rang out. CBS News reporter Karen Hua is outside the courthouse in Springfield with the latest. Karen, how did Sonya Massey's family react to the sentencing?
Hey, Lindsay. So the Massey family was overjoyed and relieved. You have to imagine they've been waiting about 2 years for this sentence, and they say this ultimately proves that no one is above the law. However, they say that there will never be full justice for Sonya Massey, but they do believe this maximum sentencing is the best case scenario. Take a listen at what Sonya's 16-year-old daughter and her father had to say.
I'm grateful that we got the maximum sentence that we could. 20 years is not enough, but they did what they thought, they did what they could do.
I just want to say that we serve an awesome God, because never in the history of these United States has a law enforcement officer been given this kind of sentence, a maximum sentence of 20 years. We don't think that's enough. And the law needs to be changed here in Illinois so that there's a greater value placed on second-degree murder here in the state. But right now, I am just overwhelmed with joy.
Now, the Massey family wants Grayson prosecuted federally for a violation of civil rights crimes. Lindsay?
Grayson had a chance to speak in court before the sentence was read. What did he say?
Yeah, Grayson was mostly stoic throughout the hour in court today, but he did get quite emotional when the judge allowed him to speak toward the end. He ultimately apologized, saying that he was unprofessional the night of the incident. He made mistakes and said that what happened to Sonya Massey should have never happened. Ultimately, his lawyer did ask for a sentence of probation, which essentially means no prison time. His lawyer arguing that there's little to no chance Grayson would ever do this again, considering he's also battling stage 4 cancer right now. But the judge still decided on the maximum sentence of 20 years, saying he wants to set a precedent. He wants to deter others from acting the same way under these similar circumstances. Grayson's team...
Now, let me say something. The judge would have never agreed to probation. One, you can't, no. That's too light of a crime, too light of a punishment. And second, I can't imagine what would happen to that city if that happened. There's going to be riots. We know.
Did file a motion to reconsider this sentence, and that will happen on March 3rd. Ultimately, for Grayson, if he does serve this full 20 years in prison, he'll be 51 by the time he gets out. Lindsay?
51 years old. Let's go over into the AI breakdown because we need to. So I had a question. Just basically, what are the possible federal charges he can get? Because the father mentioned that. So let's look at this. So as they know, the civil rights violation. So Sonya Massey's father and the legal team have publicly called for Grayson to be prosecuted federally for violating her civil rights. This typically involves charges 18 USC. I don't even know that symbol. Depriving of rights under color of law, which is common federal charges in the police brutality cases involving unjustified force. So the DOJ opened an assessment into the circumstances of the shooting. Federal investigators often wait for the state level proceedings to conclude before determining if separate federal charges are warranted. So we know that he was sentenced to 20 years for second-degree murder. And then, separately from the criminal proceedings, the county reached a $10 million wrongful death settlement with the Massey family in 2025. Now, I did want to know, what could he get for the civil rights violations? So if he was charged and convicted of the federal laws for civil rights violation, he could face significantly harsher penalties than the current ones he has. So the maximum sentence, imprisonment for any term of years up to life in prison or even the death penalty. While the statute allows any term, federal sentencing guidelines for civil rights violations involving a homicide often results in substantial prison time. He could be subjected to financial penalties as well. The Department of Justice had concluded an inquiry into the case, and the federal authorities often use the civil rights charges to pursue a life sentence. Now, here's the question. I'm going to say it again. Is 20 years enough time? Now, if someone did die, should he have automatically gotten life in prison? Now, it was the maximum for the charge. So he was charged with second-degree murder. Should he have been, some people think he should have been charged with first-degree murder. That's where premeditation is involved. I don't think it was premeditated. I think in the moment he did something stupid, horrible, and downright inhuman, but he was charged with 20 years, which is a lot of time. But is that enough time for the crimes he did? And do you think he should be charged federally? And it runs after he gets out of prison at 51. I think they said 51. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But 20 years for killing of Sonya Massey. It's been a long time waiting, but we are finally there. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.